turns of phrases. I use a lot of phrases in Vincetti Brothers and in true life that people would think that I'm just making them up, but they're not. But they've totally forgotten. And you can look at even online at things like the Urban Dictionary, and they're not there. And so people who think that they're being genuine about something, no, you can't just use an Urban Dictionary to get that. A good example is a phrase when someone says, uh, I don't know if I use it in true life, but I've used it a few times in certain books. Where don't big boy me. To big boy means basically don't dick wave at me. But that's a phrase that's gone totally out of the vernacular.
Also, playing the dozens. Now, this is a
Yeah,
term I was actually familiar with from my parents.
yeah.
Playing the dozens,
Doing the
going.
dozens.
Yes, well, playing the dozens too is a popular term that means basically the same thing.
Okay.
Maybe it's a Canadian thing,
Yeah.
but doing the dozens, playing the dozens, these are ones that probably will people come across and think, well, he's just making it up. But it's good how you kind of show how culture is kind of these phrases have fallen out and how language evolves in that way.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons that I've talked about this, and this is why I don't try to take credit for things that I didn't do. I don't want give to Caesar what is Caesar, and give to God what is God. Someone said that once too. I think that was in Godspell that they said that. It's a quote from someone else, but render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God's. I guess it's from the Bible, but the the thing is, you know, when I say something like I'm a great poet, I'm a great writer, or that Vincetti Brothers was the greatest novel that I thought had been written to that point, and that I think the greatest book ever written or the greatest piece of art ever conceived is going to be this Norwegian when you read it. Well, I'm just rendering unto to Schneider what is Schneider's. I'll be the first to admit that I didn't come up with that term, or I didn't do that. And so that's one of the things when I hear these dumbasses talking about, well, Shakespeare invented the Shakespearean sonnet form. No, you can go back into some of those dusty books, and you'll see names from people from the 1400s or the early 1500s, before Shakespeare was born, who had sonnets that were published that were using what's called the Shakespearean form, the 4-4-4-2. But it's mind-boggling, and they'll say, "Oh, well, Shakespeare made up this word." Well, there may not be. First off, there are written proofs of probably about 30 or 40 supposedly coined by Shakespeare words that people have proven. I've seen this online before, but I'll guarantee you that of the however many thousand or 3,000 words ascribed to him, probably 85% of them were not coined by him. And this isn't me trying to denigrate Shakespeare. It's just he would have had a great ear for what was in the air at the time in his best works. And that's just natural. I have a great ear for what was the late 20th, early 21st century. There are things that I will have made up that come from my great ability to put words together. But I'm not going to take credit for that I didn't do.